Good morning, students. Welcome to our class, Biological Science. Dear students, in the previous class, we have discussed about different ecosystems. Up to now, we discussed a lot of things about the different ecosystems. Ecosystem, an area where the different organisms are living together and interact with each other. So we completed that topic. Different ecosystem, forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. We completed that. Now we are going into another new topic. Before going into the topic, I want to explain a few things about a story. A 8th class student, Naveen, on his summer holidays, he was decided to go to his uncle's home, his grandmother's home. So on his way to his home, his uncle showed him their fields. At that time, the Naveen curiously asked about which type of crops are growing in that particular fields. We all are very well known about the types of crops that are cultivated surrounding us. Name some of the crops that cultivate around us. The crops like rice, maize, wheat, jowar, cotton, mirchi, red gram, green gram. These types of crops are growing in our surrounding places. Yes or no? So, dear student, we all know very well. We get energy from the food. We eat various types of products from the plants as our food. So, the main source of our food is plants. Eatable plants. Okay. The source of food are plants. Do you understand clearly? So different types of crops are growing around us. We are mostly dependent on plants for our food. Growing of plants or the cultivation of plants in large number from which we get the useful food products is called a crop. Do you understand that? What is a crop? Growing of plants in large number from which we get the useful food products is called crops. Growing of crops in large numbers is known as the agriculture. So what is a crop? Here the definition for the crop. Growing of plants in large number from which we get useful food products. It is called a crop. Okay. This is a crop. Cultivation of crops is called agriculture. Cultivation of is called agriculture. Okay, so dear students, we mostly dependent on plants for our food. Rearing of plants in large numbers from which we get the useful food products is called crop. So growing of crops or rearing of crops, cultivation of crops is called agriculture. Okay, so dear students, in this lesson we are going to learn about production and management of food from the plants. What is that? Production and management of food from plants. This is our topic. Production and management of food from the plants. What are the types of foods that we get from these crops? What are the substances we are using as our food from the plants? Okay, so we have already discussed that rice, maize, wheat, okay, different types of green gram, red gram, different types of crops we are growing and we are taking it as food. Okay, now come to another point. So, name the some of the crops that you know. Rice, maize, wheat, okay, bajra, different types of crops. Okay, vegetable crops also, carrot, beetroot, okay, and leafy vegetables. Okay, na? So all these things. So, what is the time required for that crops? On the basis of the time taken by the crops are divided into two types. One is long-term crop and another one is short-term crop. So, I asked you a question, I am going to ask you a question. Do all the crops require the same time for the harvesting or for giving the food product to us? Are all the crops takes the same time for the cultivation? No. The crops require different times. Okay, now the time requirement is differ from crop to crop. For example, some crops like jowar and red gram. Jowar is jonnal, red gram ante kandulu. So the plants, the crops like jowar and red gram requires minimum 180 days or more. So these type of crops are called long-term crops. Long-term crops. You understand this? The jowar and red gram, the crops like jowar and red gram, which requires the minimum of 180 days or more days for the harvesting. The main purpose is harvesting. Harvesting means kwata koyadam. So this type of crops are called long-term crops. Do all the crops require the same time, same days? Or minimum 180 days or more days? No. Other crops also is there. They are short-term crops. What are those? Short-term crops. The crops like green gram and red gram. Green gram, pesalo in our Telugu, and black gram. They requires 100 days, minimum 100 days, and such type of crops are called short-term crops. We understand that? Some crops like jowar and red gram, which requires the minimum of 180 days or more days for their harvesting. Such type of crops are called long-term crops. And other crops like green gram and black gram, these crops which requires the minimum of 100 days. 100 days. Such type of crops are called short-term crops. So these are for harvesting at the time of harvesting. Okay. Okay, very good. So we all know very well the farmers cultivated different types of crops in different seasons. We have mainly rainy season, winter, and summer. Dear students, the farmers cultivated different types of crops in different seasons.